beast when it comes to recruitment. She's been an elite. She's a freaking like almost $3 million earner in the business. Like she just freaking rocks it. And when she told me, she's like, let me talk to them about storytelling. If there's someone that I've always duplicated her content, I try not to steal it because she's not a fan of that. She's always encouraged, hey guys, like create your own content. But she is, when I tell you guys, like if I literally share I have a whole entire album when it comes to like money biz, and I like to duplicate other people's the way that they promote. And she is so good at storytelling, always has been. And I just think she's a freaking beast. So when she told me, she's like, I'm gonna do story time, I'm like, yes, 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 yes. I feel like that is one of your like biggest strengths when it comes to, you know, promoting and talking about the business. So I'm excited to be a student today. You guys know, what is it? Remain a student and you will get to the top. So yeah, I'm excited.
Angie, I literally love you. Thank you so much for that introduction. It really does mean a lot. And you guys have to give me a little bit of grace because I wasn't necessarily preparing for this call. If you know me, you know that if I'm going to do a call, I'm going to take like 3 hours of the day to do notes, and then I'm going to practice and all the things. But I'm just excited to share with you guys what has been on my mind over the last few months, because we're going into a brand new year. And with the new year coming, I feel like it can get really easy. Like it can be really easy to get distracted, right? And not to realize what's in front of you, and to start to shift your focus, and to start to, you know, look at maybe the things that aren't working. And then you start to get in a rabbit hole and you're like, oh, it's me, I'm the problem, right? So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit first about what the opportunity is right in front of you, especially if you're new on this call, if you haven't been involved in Monate for a really long time. I want to take it back to, you know, when I started, when Joe started, with Angie started. We started Monate and we only started with 3 countries. Okay, there were only 3 countries that we were able to sell in. There was also only hair care products. Okay, so some of you guys are maybe waiting for a new year to have a fresh start. Maybe you're waiting for the next best thing to come out, the next best product launch, the next company incentive, the next that we're going to be offering, right? And I feel like it's about taking a step back right now to realize and recognize that everything that we have right in front of us is in front of us for a reason, and to help us grow our business. Like this December has the most insane incentives I've ever seen in the whole 5 years of me doing this business. Okay. And I'm thinking back to Monations, and I loved what Daniel G said about, like, you know, every time there is a new product line and every time there is a new country that's being launched, this is a brand new stream of income for us, right? So maybe you couldn't reach people with hair care products. Well, okay, now you can reach people with skincare products. Now you can reach people with wellness products. Now you can reach people with makeup products, right? And now you can reach people in like over 10 countries, and I can't even keep track anymore because we keep launching and expanding and growing, and it's the most incredible thing to witness. Okay, did you guys know that when Monate launched back in 2018, they only did it with 9 products? 9 products. And in their first year, they hoped, prayed, and wished, oh my gosh, I hope we can sell $1 million. I hope we can push $1 million in product. They ended up doing $25 million. Why? Why? How? Guys, because we have literally the best products that perform out there on the market. Compared to other big beauty brands, we are some of the safest products on the market. And our products do what they say they're going to do. Okay? This is award-winning products, award-winning brand. Features in Vogue, features in Forbes. We have clinical studies, we have clinical results. And we aren't pushing a lifestyle change. When we talk about this, all we're really doing is showing people that there's a solution. There's a solution when it comes to their hair thinning, their damage, you know, the hair that they've been trying to get healthy. We have the solution. The life that they've been trying to create for themselves.
Wait, how many
we have the solution. If they've been struggling paying their rent, if they've been living paycheck to paycheck, we have an opportunity to introduce them to something that completely shifts their whole perspective and their whole life. Most importantly, their mindset. It's one of the biggest things that this business has given me, is the opportunity to think different and have a different perspective on the world, right? So now, fast forward in 2023, we're a $1 billion brand, okay? I remember my first Monations, drop a 1 in the chat if you've been to Monations, in 2019. I watched them induct Jackie as the 20th member of the $1 Million Club. And I remember sitting there in awe because I've sat in trainings with her. I have met her. I know her. This is a normal girl. I got to witness her journey, her story. And so that was like the moment for me where I watched it and I said, I will be in the $1 Million Club one day. And then a year later, guess what happened? I was inducted as the 37th $1 Million Club member. Fast forward now, we have over almost $100 million club members. 5 years ago, we just had, you know, I think like 30 or 40, something like that, right? Or 5 years ago, we just inducted Jackie the 20th. So it's like you have to realize and take a step back to witness and listen to these stories of the people who are winning, who are having success in this business. Are you listening to that, or are you listening to the people around you who are complaining about the economy? They're complaining about how the products are expensive, how nobody wants this, how, you know, this, that, and the other. There's always going to be something to complain about because you cannot make everyone happy. But there's also going to be really incredible, amazing things happening at the same exact time. So it's like, where are you choosing to put your energy and where are you choosing to put your focus? I remember like years, like before that, before I got to witness, you know, Jackie getting into the $1 Million Club, before I could really understand the stories, I remember when I couldn't say that. How many of you guys are on this call right now and you want all the things and you believe it for other people, but when it comes to you, you sit there and your stomach gets in knots because you can't say like, I'm going to be market mentor. I'm going to drive the car. I'm going to be a director. I'm going to make $20,000 a month. I remember when I couldn't say those things, when it physically made me sick and I was like, sure. Yeah, I'm here for the extra $500 a month, right? If that's you and you have those big goals that make you sick and make you like uncomfortable, that's honestly a good thing. But you have to know that if you deep down in your heart, soul, body do not believe that you are worthy of those things, it will not happen for you. I'm telling you right now, it's never going to happen. You have to believe in it. And what's going to get you to believe in the big picture and the big vision? It starts with the small things. It starts with, you know, the small win of getting your first customer, of getting your first business partner. That's when you get the fire under your wings and you get excited and the vision starts to expand because you get pulled closer to it. Because now you're like, oh my gosh, what else is possible? Like, wait, I just did that. I thought that was like the most impossible thing in the world. And now I've built my block and now I hit my first rank. And now I'm at the core rank. I'm at managing market builder. Okay, now I'm at market mentor. And that's how it works. It works with the small little things. And we discredit the small things so much. You know, we will say, oh my gosh, I don't have money to spend on this business. We'll say that for a while, then we'll sign up, we'll magically get the money, we'll sign up. And then when we tell you, okay, hit your first rank, you get $150. Oh, okay, that's not really that much of a big deal. Like, okay, whatever. What? You just said you didn't have the money to start. You got the money to start. And now 150 is not a big deal to you. It's not, forget about it being even about the money. It's about the confidence it's going to give you. Confidence doesn't come first. That's not how this works. What comes first is taking the messy action, being scared, being nervous, doing it anyways, realizing you didn't die, you survived it. And that's where you get confident. Because you're like, oh, wait a minute. I'm a badass. I just did that. I didn't die. I could do this again. I want to do it again. I hosted a call with one of my market mentors and she texted me. She's like, I'm ready for the next one. I was so nervous, but I'm so excited for the next one. And that's how it is. That's when you start believing, really, really believing in the stories, really believing in what you can do. And you can't be afraid to share where you're at right now. Some of you guys don't share where you're at right now because you're so worried about aesthetics or, oh, my house isn't pretty enough, or, my situation isn't perfect. It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be. People are supposed to witness the growth and the journey. How does anyone witness growth if you know, you are already at that space where you feel comfortable and confident? There's nothing to witness, right? People will tell me, Bianca, I have loved watching your journey over the last 5 years, over the last 4 years. You know, I'm not interested in money. I don't want the products, but I can't deny the growth that you've had. Like it's so incredible to watch. And you know why it's incredible to watch and witness that? Because most people will stay in the same position their whole entire lives. They won't go after their dreams. They won't make a change. They won't veer off course and veer off path. So to witness that in this generation and this time, it's inspiring. So stop being afraid to show up as a beginner and to look stupid and to be cringe. That's how you're going to grow. That's how you're going to learn. That's how I've gotten to this point. I remember being the girl that said, oh my gosh, I can never talk like that person. That person speaks so well. And getting frustrated with myself, not realizing that the more you plug into the trainings, the more you listen to the books or listen to the podcast and read the books, the more the language comes, the better you get. The more you get on your stories and you start talking, and the more you do the potential calls and the more you do the lives, the more you master your message. You can't master your message if you're just hiding all the time. Face it. Face the fear. Feel the fear and do it anyways, right? And so, you know, I want to go back to the story of this company. Do you guys know it? Do you guys know that it's a Venezuelan family behind this? It's a family that has huge goals and dreams for this company. The reason I have been around for so long is because I believe in this family. And I know that they have vision for this company and for the future of their market partners. Our CEO, Ray, he is one of the most incredible leaders. He's such a good person. Every time I talk to him, my cup is filled. Like, he is so special. And the fact that he is the one guiding this ship, he is the one building this incredible billion-dollar brand, like, that's what matters. Knowing that it's in the right hands, you guys have to know that that's what Monat has. They have something that is so freaking special. They know that they could have put these products in the stores, but they decided to make it a direct sales business model. Do you guys know why? Because Ray's father, which is our founder, Senior Luis, he used to do Tupperware MLM, and it completely transformed his life. He used to be so poor that he lived in a house that was made of mud and sticks. Okay. And he recognized that this is an industry and a business model that's a level playing field for everyone. Okay. Anyone can come into this. Doesn't matter what your background is. Doesn't matter if you have a college degree. Doesn't matter if you graduated high school. Doesn't matter if you had the highest GPA. None of it matters. You can come into this business and you can become the person that you've been dreaming about. And you can also become the person that makes $1 million or more, right? This company has vision. My question is, do you have vision? Okay. Why do we need vision? Because life is going to throw you curveballs. Because life is hard. And it's not perfect, right? So what happens to your goals and your vision when you get those curveballs? Do you throw them out the window? Do you push back the timeline on your goals? Do you get angry with God because he hasn't answered your prayers? Do you play the victim? Do you dive into a pity party? What happens when you can't solve the problems that you're facing or meet your goals? You want to be married, you want to make more money, you want life to be easier. When you have the want, which is, you know, your goal, and no way to meet that goal, that's when you feel frustrated, right? You feel like, oh my gosh, this is impossible. I don't know how to do this. We end up complaining about how rough it is. We, you know, pity party. And then we start to focus on our lack, what we don't have again. We start focusing on that. We start focusing on problems and not on solutions and all the good that is present around us, right? Therefore, you know, we really get nowhere. And I want to talk about this and I want to bring this up because as we go into the new year, we're going to be setting goals. And what are those goals going to look like? And what does that mean for your future? And what does that mean for your next few months in business, right? Goals are not bad. It's when you get stuck on goals and then you start to lose sight of the real desire behind the goals. That's when we do ourselves a disservice, okay? Behind every single goal, there's a hidden desire. And that's what I want you guys to tap into, because that is the underlying wish that is going to actually make an impact when you start to think about the next few months coming up, right? So instead of having like rigid goals coming up in the 2024, I want you to look at the desires behind the goals and the wants. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys a little example. Like, I desire to have a career that uses my gifts and compensates me fairly. That versus I want a promotion. I want to rank up. I want $500. I want to make $10,000 a month. What is the desire behind wanting the promotion, wanting the rank up, wanting the money? What is it, right? Another one. I desire a loving companion in my life who is open and honest with me versus I want to be married by 30. Okay. You want to be married by 30, but what? What is the desire behind wanting to be married at 30? The desire is you want a loving companion in your life who is open and honest with you, right? I desire to be financially prepared for my future family versus I want my own home. I want to move out. I want to live on my own. I want my own place. Okay. So it's also not just a matter of changing the words like, oh, I want versus I desire. It's about finding the real true desire behind what you want. Like, that's your guide to happiness. Okay. And I have this message here that I think you guys are going to really like, but it talks about like, think about your goals and wants, like your goals / wants and desires as if you want to book a flight from New York to San Francisco, but the airlines are grounded due to bad weather. So you end up taking a train. And along the way, the train starts to break down in Chicago. So you end up jumping on a bus. However, the bus only goes to Las Vegas. So you end up renting a car to drive the rest of the way. You wanted to take a flight to San Francisco, but when that didn't work out, you did not lose sight of your true desire to get to San Francisco. You had to use alternate routes more than you had planned. And that might have gotten you there on a different timeline, but ultimately you still got there. So sometimes when you have like the want part, like the I want this, I want that, you make it in your mind of like how it has to happen. And it's this super rigid concept that you start to block all your blessings because you can't see past it, right? And so when you have the desire of like, oh, this is where I want to go, this is the goal, like this is, this is what it is, what I truly want, there's more flexibility. There's more possibilities of what could happen. And I think that's so important because sometimes you guys come into this focused on, I want a rank up, I want a title, I want the XYZ amount of dollar signs. And what you don't realize is this entire process is about becoming the person who is worthy of that income, becoming the person who, can have that multi-million-dollar business, that can work through problems that come with a multi-million-dollar business. You can't skip the process. You can't skip the steps. You need to be okay with just being like entranced in the journey and all the ups and downs. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm so proud of where I've come. Have you ever turned back around to look and see how far you've climbed the mountain? You're not at the peak yet. But if you turn around, that's a long way that you've come. Some of you joined and you've never gone live on your story before, but now because of the business you have. You've never spoke on your stories before, but now because of the business you have. You've never put yourself out there, but now because of the business you have. And it's like, you don't even acknowledge that. And you like brush it off like that's not a big deal. It is a big deal. Right? So it's like, I want you guys to focus on becoming and embodying. And you have to know that if you want a position or a title or whatever, look at the people that are in those positions those positions of power or, you know, influence, and how do they show up? How do they talk? How do they act? What are their habits? Do you have them? You don't? Okay, start practicing them. And then, you know, call yourself whatever it is, right? Like I used to tell myself, like, hi, I'm Bianca and I'm associate executive director. All the time. All the time when I didn't believe in it. And it just over and over and over again. And then with the small wins and the small wins and the small wins and the momentum and the energy and the fire and the people joining my team and they're winning and I'm feeling good. Like then I started to believe in it. Okay. So another little analogy I have for you guys that is one of my favorites. I want you to think of life like this. You're in the car with universe, creator, God source, and they are driving, but you pick the GPS. You put in where you want to go, but you don't pick the detours, where you stop, which gas station you go to, what hitchhikers you pick up, but you're going to get there. And if you would just stop being a backseat driver, you'd get where you want to go with a lot nicer of a time because you could just enjoy the view instead of complain about the route. Okay? This is the analogy for peace in this business. Okay? You just have to know that there are so many possibilities in this business. There are so many people out there looking for this opportunity. There are so many people out there looking for these products. You have to engrave that into your mind. You have to tell yourself you are at the right place at the right time. Stop, you know, like, you know, when I get caught up in the business and where I am is when I look at other people and I compare myself to why are they there and why am I here? Why am I not there? Why are they, you know, that's when I start to get all funky in my brain. And what gives me peace is knowing that every single person has their own experience to go through. Every single person has their own journey that is so specific to them. Their own journey of lessons, their own journey of experiences. And that's why it is so fatal for you to look at the other side and look at other people and try to compare and try to justify and try to say, like, why are they there? Why am I here? Why this? Why that? It's none of your business. It's none of your business. The best thing that you can do in this experience and in this journey is have fun. Have fun, connect with all of the people that are here, create these incredible relationships, step out of your comfort zone. The only person holding you back from everything that you want is you. And you have to also know that, like, yeah, maybe you feel like, okay, I don't have the success. I don't have this, that, and the other. You don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it to be successful. When I joined this business, I signed up 8 market partners in my second month. I was only at the first rank. I did not have the car. I was not a senior executive director. I wasn't making millions of dollars. I wasn't any of that. I was just excited about where I was going and the vision I had for my future. When people sense and feel that you have vision, they will follow you. Whether you're a leader on this call or whether you just started this business and you want to grow your team, if people feel that you have vision, they will follow you. But if you don't have vision, if you don't have a GPS logged into that, if you don't have like a destination logged into that GPS, all you're doing is donuts. You're just going around and around and around, aimlessly driving. You're going nowhere. So the best thing that you could do after this call, what is the best thing that you could do after this call? I think it's just get clear. Get clear on what your true desires are and what you truly want out of life and how you can utilize this business as a tool to get those things. I want you to really know that you have a lottery ticket in your hand. And as long as you know that and believe that, other people will believe it. Other people will understand it. And other people will join you. Okay, I think that's everything from me.
I love that, B. Guys, she's just said something that kind of ties into something I said in a Spanish call yesterday. And I think it's something that Angie, Bianca, myself, everyone that started way back when, what we did. And it's literally, when we say our visions, when I started, I would go on Instagram every day and say how I was this close to getting my car, how I was this close to earning, well, my free trip I did earn pretty quick, but like getting the car, how I was this close to hitting director. And I would vocalize it. Okay, not only to my social media, but to my friends, to my family. And the challenge I gave the Spanish girls yesterday, which can go hand in hand with what we just said, is not only get clear to where you want to go, remind yourself why you're here, what makes it worth it to be here, but also vocalize where you're going. All of us, once upon a time, didn't have the car, didn't have the ranks, but we spoke it out loud. I don't see like I remember 5 years ago, I would go on Instagram and everyone would say of where they're gonna be, what rank they're going for, what paycheck they're working towards, what their goal is for the next 3 months. I feel like we stopped sharing. We stopped sharing because we're scared of not accomplishing it, because we're scared of what someone else is going to think. Can you imagine 5.5 years ago when Monet was not as popular here, when throwing around the word millionaire was not as common as it is now? And I would go on Instagram and I was saying, I'm going to make $1 million selling shampoo. My dad thought I had lost my marbles, literally. And now it's like, now you have plus 90 millionaires selling shampoo. Now you can really talk about it. But we're not casting our own vision. We're not speaking it out loud. We're not like manifesting it enough. So I think that can go hand in hand with the challenge for you guys to do after today's call. Get it very clear and share it. Do not be scared. And once you share it out loud, you do that like compromise within yourself. And to me personally, there's no one I hate letting down more than myself. Like when I let myself down, that hits me hard. I want all of you to get to that point, because we're always so hard when we let someone else down, but we are so quick to let ourselves down. So get to the point where you cannot let yourself down. Whatever goal it is that you're going for, you're manifesting it, you're speaking it out loud, you're working for it, but don't keep it to yourself. Let other people know, even the people that aren't in money and don't understand what getting the car may mean for you, what getting that next rank may mean for you. When you're vocalizing it, it becomes that much more real. So, I mean, I don't want to drag on. B hit everything on point. Angie, B, you saved us today.
No, I mean, and honestly, that is everything that I needed to hear, because it gave me a couple of reminders that I needed myself. And regardless, guys, like, look, I'm at the top too, right? MDC and all that stuff, but we need these constant reminders too, reminding us like, look how far you've got. I have failures every single day where I'm like hard on myself too. I'm like, why haven't I done this? Why haven't I done that? But then I remind myself, am I showing up as a person that that people want to be mentored by, right? Remember, your vibe attracts your tribe. How are you showing up? How are you being consistent in your business? How are you setting that vision for other people? And I tell this to the girls all the time, especially you newbies, like, cast that vision for them by putting it in perspective, speaking about what you're doing, what you're working towards, how your team is doing, and what you guys are working on. Like, let everybody know and be loud and proud about your business, about what you're working towards, about what you're promoting, like absolutely everything. And it becomes a domino effect because people start seeing your team doing it too. And the same way with the energy is going to become a domino effect with yourself, with your team, with the people being attracted to your positivity, to your energy, to your excitement, right? To your vision, absolutely everything. So Bianca completely hit it out of the ballpark today. I'm so glad we recorded this call, because I am going to have that on repeat, and I'm adding that to the newbies boards section.
I also want to say, for those of you guys that are practicing your story, it's so simple. Like when I have a new girl that comes into the business, I ask her, what made you like say yes? Like, what were you looking at on the other side? Like, that made you say, okay, I'm going to do money and I want to do this. And they will open up and they tell me their entire story. And when they finish, I'm like, that's your story right there. Everything that you just told me right now is what you need to speak on when you are going to talk about money, because it's the reason why you said yes. And then it's as simple as adding, I was watching XYZ, I was seeing XYZ. And you can also talk about your hesitations, talk about what was holding you back. People feel so much more related to you, or I don't even know if that's the right word, but they feel more connected to you when they realize like, oh, she's just like me. Like she she didn't have the time. She had a lot on her plate. So it's like, bring up those hesitations in your story, and you're going to realize that by the time you get to the end of it, people are going to say, you're going to ask them if they have any questions, and they're going to tell you, you covered everything. Everything that I was thinking of, you literally said it. So yeah, I just wanted to add that, but thank you guys so much for having me. And that's it.
Thank you. Bye,
Thank
guys.
you. Bye. See you guys next Tuesday.